Video started just in time to watch you eat that nuggie. I apologize for all the video listeners too. I know it's probably incredibly annoying. Trust me, it's bothering me that I have a strip of light going right down the middle of my fucking face. My blinds are closed, and those are the little itty bitty holes from where the strings go through the blinds. And they just so happen to be at the perfect spot to be going down right the center of my face, which is
Hey,
extra frustrating for me because I cannot move. Like, luckily, this is like
right.
mainly my spot, but like I can't scoot forward or backwards because I'm gonna get some light in the eye because it is
Yeah.
literally down the middle of my
Right there.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
hysterical, kind of.
yeah,
All right.
joyous should be gone here soon as the day progresses.
And that's when we say, welcome, challengers, to Battleground of the Gods, a Smite podcast. I am your host, Step Nation, and joining me today, we have Fro-G.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, you got some light on your face there.
I do got some light on my face. There's just where else do
I
I
think it's.
move? Like, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
I could like do a lean, do one of these numbers.
Oh, there you go. Gangster lean.
Comfortable. I also shouldn't talk because I lean away from the mic. I know better than this.
You know, you'd think we'd have our shit together at this point, but turns out we don't.
Turns out we just don't.
Hmm. Well, Fro-G, we are a Smite podcast, which means we play Smite games occasionally. You want to talk about your Smite games?
Uh, yeah. So I don't have many of them
Okay.
because well, BG3 is a thing, consuming most of my. I really was just waiting for Mon to come out as well, which we'll be talking about her soon. I'm just not very. I mean, we've talked about it. They haven't done shit to Assault, which is my main game mode, in years, and it's getting rather stale. I disagree with their healer tiers and how they have them running right now. Yeah, I'm just getting a little stale with the game in general. I had a conquest, but I don't like playing unless I got these people, and like I said, BG thing. And then on my Wednesday, which I normally do my conquest stream, Beard hit me up at like fucking 5 o'clock, and he's like, "Hey, yo, you want to do a co-op Dark Urge playthrough on Wednesdays on Baldur's Gate?" And I'm like, well, actually, he didn't say on Wednesdays. He's like, "You want to do it tonight?" And I'm like, only way I'll cancel my conquest stream, because they're pretty successful most of the time. I'm like, is if you can commit to a weekly or bi-weekly Dark Urge Baldur's Gate. But he said he can commit to bi-weekly, so sorry for all the conquest people who come and enjoy. That will be every other week, a Dark Urge playthrough. Now, I may change another day or work something in there where I conquest on another day. LTD is still going to be the same, but hopefully soon my D&Ds on Tuesday nights that I run, I'll also be streaming that. Those will be a short stream because I only ever do about 2 hours to right, around 8 to around 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any plans to extending that at all because a lot of my players work the next day. One of the things, usually if you're able to meet more often, you meet for shorter. Been meeting for a while. This group's relatively new, but that's been like my day for a while. So I don't really want to extend it. It is what it is, 8 to 10 on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be D&D streams coming up soon. Hope you all can stop by for that. I apologize. I know it sounds like I'm just like completely stepping away from Smite and all that. I'm not, but I've been playing for like 8 years, y'all. I'm. It's just not very fresh at the moment for me. A little bored. That's all.
We'll get there. I'm sure so many people at High Res listen to us every week and hang on our every word.
Yeah, right.
So
To be fair
they'll
though, my
they'll.
mom Brigitte looks fucking fun as fuck, and I will be
Oh,
playing with her.
absolutely. Magic Assassin. Been a while since Alquan. It's been a while since
No,
Alquan.
no, 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 Morgan. The Morgan.
Oh. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
She's no burst mage, mid lane mage. I mean, she's been played there, but she's clearly made to be an assassin.
Yeah.
Utility assassin.
Right.
Man, if there's ever a word that does fucking work more at high res, it's the fucking word utility.
Mm-hmm.
Because that fucking word, it pulls some weight wherever it's used at high res. Like, how do we define what this guy does? Utility.
Utility. Yeah. At this point, it's a catch-all. What's attack speed provide? Utility. What does?
Yeah, no shit. It's like, yeah, we're gonna give this mage attack speed for no reason. Why for? Utility. We're gonna give him CC immunity. Why? Utility.
We're gonna give pen and health on the same item. Why? Utility.
Utility. So everyone
Better
can
yet,
build it.
you know what? Put on a little bit of attack speed and some anti-heal passive.
For the utility.
For the utility.
They should have a tab in the Smite store that says utility, and when you open it,
Every
it's
item.
just, every item. I mean, honestly, like, the thing is, we do understand what they mean when they say that, though. It's not a burst mage. That's what they're trying to say. It's not a healer. It's not a burst mage. Okay, I'll remove that it's not a healer. It's just not a burst mage. Like, no one's claiming Thoth is utility. No one's claiming Ra is utility.
Ra's utility. Ra heals.
I mean,
Ra heals. Ra heals, grants protections, grants power. What else can I say about that bloated fucking ability? Like, if you look into it, like, when we were regularly doing Battleground Universities, so many Smite God abilities are just so fucking bloated with everything that they provide. It's absolutely disgusting. As Ra, I've been putting down my heal circle and ulting within that circle and doing even more damage.
Oh yeah, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's like double frustrating when you have a Ra on your team, and A, he doesn't want to heal you, and B, he won't throw the circle down so your backliners, like, he's trying to do damage with it, and it's like, I can do more with your bonus than your heal's going to do to them. Drop it on me. We will fuck them up. Let's do this. Teamwork. Dreamwork.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. I love it. But oh
yeah, so
I think we were talking about games.
We were talking about games. We were. I'm not gonna name names, but I ran into a fellow streamer, and I actually ended up getting a hold of him and all that because I was a little salty. So last week, a lot of shit went down in my life last week. Let's see. I found out my dad has cancer. I had to have a colonoscopy. Just stuff with kids. I was just super busy. Just a whole bunch of stuff going on in my life. So Sunday stream, my mental was already kind of a bit drained, and I ran into another streamer, and he, for fun, he no ill intent, you know, because we know each other, we're friends. Like, yo, it's Fro. Everybody get him. And so I got dogpiled for a game, which is all right, you know, whatever, it happens. Then the next game, it happened again. That got frustrating. I ran into the same person, same people, because they were in a 5-stack and we were only in a 3-stack. And on top of that, I was playing Kukulin in MOTD. So everybody else is having fun, and there was a couple points where I just stopped moving. Because everyone else had like mages with range, and there's just fucking abilities just going back and forth, abilities flying back and forth, and here I am like, I can't cast anything, and all my stuff is way shorter range than everybody. So I'm just sitting there like, this is not fun. This is not fun. And I'm getting double blinked, triple blinked, double ulted, triple ulted constantly. So I was a bit salty. I tried to, you know, better my attitude up a little bit throughout the rest of the stream, and I did it in a positive note. Bright made me do Amaterasu solo because he did the stream incentive, because I'm doing my charity streams all month of September. They'll still be going on for a few days. Actually, the whole charity thing technically goes on for like 2 weeks. October. That's just how they run it. But I'll be doing them still all September long, so you still have some time to stop by. Sorry, there's a loud ass truck. Am I gonna stop talking? No. But no, I'm just gonna keep going. I lied. It's kind of a loud truck. He stepped on it a little bit. I'm like, nah, maybe I will stop. Yeah, so those weren't necessarily the best, like I said. But I'll be doing my charity streams. Bright made me do Amaterasu solo because of that. We won. It was a rough for me too, because not only was I doing Amaterasu solo, I was going against a Grandmasters, or I'm sorry, a Masters Hercules solo player.
Ooh.
Dude, I was getting so frustrated, but we end up winning the game. It wasn't bad once we started leaving lane. The laning phase was rough for me.
Yeah.
As to be expected. So far, I've raised 200.
We just mentioned a utility item that would have done great for you.
You say that, but I did pick up a utility item. Vital amplifier, man. Attack speed, health.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
But, yeah, so far I raised $250. My community has raised $250 for the Stand Up to Cancer charity, which is awesome. I'm going to try to still push towards 500. So awkward. We actually have 2 weeks. I got to remember that we have 2 weeks to talk about.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 2 full weeks.
Week before, boy, this is a tough one to remember. 2 weeks. The week before that, I don't know. I just did my normal MOTD streams on Sunday and a few notable Beset games. I've been playing a lot of Beset. She's my Diamond Challenge. She's slowly turning into a comfort pick. Don't think I'm that horrible of a Beset either. Although there's a few times.
You were playing her for a while in your Conquest streams.
Well, that's what I've been doing on Wednesday. Yeah. Like, I've taken her from like 400 worshipers to almost Diamond, almost exclusively in Conquest.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's slowly turning into a comfort pick. And I don't think I'm horrible, although there's always every god. It's just my play style sometimes. There's sometimes where you leap in, I think I can get a little cheeky and leap out, and it's like, oh no, I got crippled, I got stunned, I got silenced, I got fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But besides that, streams have been going pretty well. Because I've been adding so much variety to my streams in general, I have been taking a bit of a dip in viewership, which is okay. That's fine. Totally expected. Sunday streams, that's why I try to keep them consistent along with the Wednesday ones, although I change those. Try to keep those consistent, stay a little regular. I'm also trying to work my way a little bit into some BG3 communities because I don't really know anyone that plays aside from like Bright and Beard, but Beard can't play often. Bright's already got like 14,000 campaigns going on. A little bit of that.
I'll have to see if I know anyone.
You just get the game. But dude,
I don't think I'd like it. I think it'd be a waste of money. I don't have the patience for that.
Serious.
I just don't. It's not like clicking through. Like, I'll be fine sidecarring it because then it is more entertainment, but like then actually controlling everything, no thanks.
That's fair. I think we had this conversation. I'm not sure if it was on the podcast.
We did. Yeah, I think it might have been. It might have been. But, good to remind people. It's been 2 weeks, Fro.
It has. We're getting used to this new format.
Right.
Again, this is just until we can actually, don't feel like we're trying to quote unquote fluff content or anything.
Yeah.
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 And a bit of a lull for me. Down the host, etc., etc., etc. Oh, Nev's not here, by the way. Nev's.
Hey, Nev's,
I don't know if she wants to say why she's not here.
no. But, 15 minutes in, Nev's not here. That's what
Nev's
I
not
have
here.
to say about that.
15 minutes in, I now have also lost the light streak in the middle of my face and have gone pale Nelly with the one patch on the cheek. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good with this. You lean forward a little bit, you get blinded.
Yeah, it's actually at that perfect.
Perfect. We
when I
love
lean
it.
this way, it's like
Yeah.
my
Don't
eye,
do that.
my eye,
My
no
eyes.
S. No S, just one eye.
Just,
It's
yeah.
just lefty getting fucked on there.
Oh.
Steph,
So
how
yeah,
have your
2
games
weeks of
been?
games. Steps games. Let me tell you, I'm jousting with the buddies. I am Fragosaurus Rex over here. Let me tell you, I a lot of times I do play tank. Okay, so let that. I am the one tank. My two buddies are normally damage gods. I am in the enemy team's face 100% of the time. And
Ew.
heaven forbid I actually get to play a damage god. I'll start going backwards through my games. So our last game was a bit of a loss. My buddy's feeling a little under the weather yesterday, but Joust, I tried playing Tsukiyomi, tried building him tank, didn't work. Enemy team had a Zeus, an Ares, and a Scotty.
So they
that
had
was
real damage in a real tank.
Yeah. Well, and we had Jormungandr, myself, and my buddy was Giannis. But
So you didn't have real damage, and you didn't have a real tank. If you were,
I was building tank. Well, and the Jormungandr built like hybrid kind of, which I think was he should have just built damage. But anyway,
we've said it
that
numerous
one
times
was
before. Like, okay, so I sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but I feel like we need to interject this again real quickly. Hybrid builds are kind of no longer a thing, right? Because we don't have hybrid items anymore. So can't really do what you used to do as far as the builds. Now a lot of times you just need to pick a item or two tops. Still going tank, right?
Yep.
Unless you're gonna go full blaster, right? But
Right.
when they get like 3 items, right? 4 damage items, and then like, oh, I'm just gonna pick up a tank items. It's like, well, you're kind of in this like you don't quite have enough power to do much.
You don't do enough damage, and you don't protect yourself enough.
Right. You used to be able to get away with that because you would pick up 6 items that all gave you prots and power.
And boots gave you movement speed and prots. Like,
oh, this is
this
is after post boots and everything too. I'm talking like when Glad Shield gave you power, when like Void Stone gave you power. I know you couldn't build those at the same. Just things like that.
I know what you're saying though. Oh,
a lot of times it's just like you're trying to grab an item really. A lot of times it's just for the passive of the item that allows. I'm like, Desolation, Spear of the Magus, E-Staff, so you can steal their health, things like that.
But next game in my history, I'm on Ymir. We have a Susano on our team with a Master's Border on the Susano.
Lovely.
So the man plays. Also spent the first 2 minutes of the match in Fountain because he said BRB pissin' as we were loading in.
Got a kidney stone, boss?
I guess. Real long piss. Maybe he had to go to the outhouse. Who knows? But he came back. We won. I top damaged as Ymir. Just building full tank. Threw on a Bancroft's at the end. I was going to get Bancroft's Claw because it works with health. And that's, damage for a thick boy. Gotta love it. And Bancroft's like, just a great item. Great item. Anyways, did top damage there. Next game, Cthulhu. Top damage there by about 15,000.
God damn.
Yeah. Mostly like a full tank build. Blood soaked, prophetic, Gauntlet of Thebes, Genji's, Glad Shield, and E-Staff. Which E-Staff, I'd argue.
You said 2 damage items in there, like I just said. And it's
well, I
one
mean,
of the
Blood
2
Soak
damage
gives you
items.
300 health. Can we talk about how this item has gone through the fucking game not getting nerfed?
Yeah, it's got a little utility on it.
This is a big utility here.
Again, when we bring up the 2 damage items you did pick up, there's very specific reasons why you picked up those 2.
Oh, absolutely.
They both also still contribute to you being tanky, right? The health, E-Staff steals their health. Steal their health with E-Staff. Your squishies or your carries can kill the enemies easier because they have less health. And Blood Soak allows you to do more damage with your abilities, so you don't have to build as much damage to get more damage.
Doesn't really do more damage with ability.
Oh, is that the sacrifice?
Sacrifice one.
Which
so Blood Soaked, 80 power, 300 health, 15 MP5, 10% magical lifesteal. Passive is damaging any enemy with an ability restores 1.2% health and 15% mana.
There it is, sustain. So it's you get a little damage item, but it continues to contribute to the health.
When I got this item, I fucking stayed alive so easy. Hit the wave, like I'm ulted. I'm up in my ult. They can hit all of their abilities on me. I swipe the wave 2 times, and I get 10%. I get 12% health back. More.
Is it 1% per god hit or per
enemy?
Per enemy.
Per enemy. So it could be
it's 1%.
Minions, gods,
See,
all of it.
This is what I'm talking. Again, this just goes right back to exactly the example we were doing. Your damage items you picked up either contribute to your allies killing them quicker, or you still being tanky while you're in there, because that's how hybridness works. You are, it's the warrior
live
mentality.
longer, hit abilities more often. Yeah.
Yes, I'm spamming you, right? I'm hitting you more often.
Yeah.
What's the most successful frustrating warrior you play against? The Hercules that doesn't die and hits you 90 times. He doesn't one-shot you. He fucking pluck push until you're dead. Or
and
obviously
he's
the
slapping
first time.
you a couple times in between too.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, the first time, like in a team fight, you get plucked, you're probably dead. But like in lane, or like in just a 2-man fight, what's the most annoying? It's the one who doesn't die. The Bologna who won't get off your ass. The fucking Horus who you cannot get away from.
Yep.
Those are the frustrating ones.
Yep. Before that, and this was the game that made me want to pick Cthulhu, there was an annoying ass Cthulhu on the enemy team. Go figure, right?
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I feel bad doing that sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm being a salty bitch when it's like this god comes in, kicks my ass next game. You're like, I'm gonna do that now. Like, but
well, and here's the thing too. Like, I did it better. Like, it was the Cthulhu in the game that I fought against him only managed to do about 26,000 damage. Respectable still, but I was on her in this game, and it was tooth and nail the entire time. I went 995, but the fact that I did 49,000 damage.
God damn.
Yeah, every time the Cthulhu ulted, I'd ult him. I'm like, I can hit every shot. This is great for damage.
And it shreds, which helps and all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I start slapping them with autos, and like after a while, I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I need crit," And so, what's a great crit item that I think goes underutilized? Fail not.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's underutilized. It's just a lot of the other crit items are pretty decent.
I mean, 20% crit chance, 20% cooldown, 10 pen, 35 power, and then the passive. Marking them and getting an additional 20% crit.
Yeah, but that also doesn't that apply to everybody as well, which is
Everybody
nice.
on our team. So Cthulhu's ulted, I ult him, my team starts slapping.
Right, yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
just saying it for the listeners.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just I don't think it's underutilized. There's just a lot of other good crit items right now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the crit items are
and
pretty decent
completely
right
a situational thing, right? Like Cthulhu's so big, I knew I could hit my ult every shot. Or if Fenrir ult, we had a Fenrir on our team. If our Fenrir ulted someone and brought them over, I'd fucking laser dick them, you know?
Right, yeah.
So.
No, I feel you on that. I'm glad it's finally changing, but for the longest time, a problem I had with crit builds is you had to build Deathbringer.
Oh, and I
Absolutely
did
had
it.
to build Deathbringer. Well, you don't really have to anymore. It's finally getting to the point
Yeah.
where it's not as necessary. The power has come down. Um, the passive has came down because it used to be like you did 45% extra, which now it's only like 25 or some shit like that. Like that's a huge damage like change for an auto attack in your crit, right?
Right.
I like how that's coming down. It used to be just so necessary. It was like the Obsidian Shard or the Titan's Bane of crit builds. Like for those who don't know what we're talking about, this happened way back when they split. I think that's when they made percent pen. No, fuck did they do it?
When
Oh, I'm
they
drawing a blank.
Well, there got to be so much protections that they made items a percentage of penetration.
That's what they did. You could really only get percent pen. It was like just on Op Shard, right?
Well, and like Obshard Titan's Bane, I think like Executioner too, but that was a shred. It wasn't like a
Yeah, but I mean just on magical. It used to be
like
just
on
Titan's
items
Bane, if I remember
themselves.
correctly. But yeah, years
Yeah.
ago they split and they put pen on a shit ton of different items because Op Shard was just so needed every single build. Have it, you just didn't damage anyone, and like there was numerous videos pointing out and like doing the math that like any build not as good if it didn't have Op Shard in it. Kind of how like crit builds were for
Hunters.
well, it's the same with like Ratatouille. Ratatouille used to be the same thing. That's coming like it used to be like super frustrating because mage builds like season 2, 3, 4. You and this is just something you always did, and if you did wrong, not like an opinion thing, you were wrong. Third or fourth item, you picked up your Op Shard. Then fourth, fifth, or sixth, you picked up a Tahuti. But Tahuti was like crazy expensive back then, so it's like usually it was like but you just didn't.
And that was before Tahuti Glyph, so it was just that pricey for bog standard Tahuti.
That just used to be the way, and if you didn't pick those up, wrong.
Yeah.
No argument, no discussion, no opinions. You're wrong. Like you can bust out the math in any way, shape, or form. Just wrong because the Tahuti just gave you so fucking much. It was literally like 2 items and then a passive, or 2 items worth of power, and then a passive that gave you like another fucking quarter of an item. And Op Shard was just like all the pen you need to kill everybody for the rest of the game. Period. Yeah, just all of it. Just all you need. You don't need any more. You don't need any more flat. You don't need any more percent. You got it all. You're good. Oh, how times have changed.
Yep. Oh yeah, big change in times. There was another game, and I'm sad we lost this one, but the enemy team comped well against my guys. Like, so it was my buddy and the enemy team was a Baron Mirror. I was Mulan, my other buddy Neath, and they had a Serket and Izanami. So like, boom, they had instant lane pressure, just clearing the minions. My one buddy didn't understand the Serket taunt, and he just got like fucked up by her every time. I went 16, 5, and 2 on Mulan.
You mean didn't understand the
running them
taunt,
down.
like how it worked, or like how it could be a taunt
Like
or a
he's like, I
madness?
can't use abilities, and I'm like, you got hit by the taunt, and so you can't use them, and so like he'd try using it and say, oh, it doesn't work, and like start turning and running instead of backflipping, is like, waiting a second and backflipping his Neath, right? Or use like still getting him used to relics and stuff. He's not as practiced up as my other friend, but
I feel
the
bad for new
Serket and
players because
Izanami
it's
went
getting to the
great.
point where it's a fucking investment to learn.
Yeah, yeah, it's I mean, and I feel like that's how a lot of like these continuous development games that are generally free to play are. It's like you have to be so fucking invested in it to even know like what's going on. Like to, I don't know. It's tough. I felt like Sea of Thieves was that way.
I wonder. No, that'd be a bad idea. That'd be abused. I was just thinking, I'm like, I wonder if there's a way they could implement, like, if there's people who still use like auto buy and shit.
He does.
No, no, no. I know there's a way they can do that. To
Yeah.
like, kind of like discreetly push own queues as you're like figuring
Oh,
stuff out.
yeah. I mean,
Or it could be another
realistically,
like
he
hidden thing they
probably
do where it's like, because
should.
they do it on like uh like depending on levels, right? They used to
Yeah.
be, they would try to queue you together. You could take something
Yeah.
like that and combine it with an old system that they used to have in ranked, where you needed to have at least 10 gods mastered in order to queue ranked.
Yeah.
Something like that, or a god in each class. They had a few different ones like that. You could
Yep.
combine the two, where if this person only had X amount of gods mastered under so many hours, because we all know those people who only play the one god,
Right.
try to scoot them over into like, okay, this is an indicator. It's just like a little check mark indicator might be a new player.
Yeah. Well, but then also with the the timed queues, you have to, I think, like it'd be like, okay, do that for the first minute, then take away a parameter, just so that they're not
Well,
sitting
yeah,
in
that's how
queue
they
as
already
long
do.
as
Yeah, that's
yeah,
how they already do it. I mean, it.
yeah. Because I mean, we've sat in queue for Joust as a 3-man for like 4 or 5 minutes before.
Believe it. I mean, your MMR combined with theirs probably just throws. I mean, all three of you sound you're at vastly different levels. Time
Yeah,
played, so you
yeah.
are
My one buddy,
already you're
my
already like
newest
an
buddy,
anomalous party.
he's level 27. If that
Yeah, so it's like what, level 27, a level 70, and a level 160. Like,
106. I am so far from 160. I'm 148.
I mean, grand scheme depth.
Yeah,
When you say
but
148
yeah,
next to your buddy, that's 106.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I'm
yeah,
talking about. You have a level 28 or whatever. I'll say 30. Level 30. You have a level 100 and a level 150. Like, you guys are
yeah.
exactly what the system does not want to try to have to fucking place.
Right. Yeah,
Because it's
but
an experienced player, someone who plays every once in a while, and a new player. How often are you going
yeah.
to find that party?
No, you're not.
And playing at the same time and in joust?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's a good chance that other party that matches you guys were fucking off in assault or playing in arena. You know,
Right.
it. I get it. I could see why it takes some long ones. All I'm saying is it's a parameter they could add to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm beginning to get a little cynical. Like I said, them rose-colored glasses coming off. It's not my fucking problem to fix or figure out how they need to implement or make it work. But like, I do know that, like you said, they remove parameters slowly until they can kind of get it to work. However, they
Yeah.
decide to fucking do that, whatever time, whatever parameters, not my problem to fucking figure out. But they should do something like that.
Or at
I
least
actually,
let us know if they're already doing it because we don't see it.
uh,
you know.
it, I speaking of the rose glasses coming. I was in the Olympian Discord, right? And I was talking to another ex-Olympian, not one of the employees. But I mentioned a change or something like that, or a something that I forget what it was exactly. Something that I thought would be a good quality of life or just a good to add. And one of the other Olympians was like, "Well, how would we do that?" But just like the way they said it was like a little, at least I took it that way, or maybe I was in a mood. Who the fuck knows? It's hard saying sometimes.
Yeah, hard to say.
But I literally was just responded with like, "Hey, I got a novel idea. I'm not a game developer. It's not my problem to figure out how to implement this. I'm just here for suggestions."
Right.
And I had another one of the Olympians message me, and they're like, "I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was real hard not to say anything when you said that because that was pretty fucking good clapback." And I'm like, because this was not long after the being told that another change would be a lot of work. It's like,
Like at this point, any change is a lot of work, right? Like you could make that argument. Like any new feature is going to be work.
now I will say it was wholeheartedly talking about adding the fucking beacon and unleash titans to assault.
Oh yeah.
Which, yeah, no, I get that's a lot of work. But that's when when I get the responses, that's or when they just literally say that's a lot of work to do. Well, yeah. I didn't think you're just gonna copy and paste the game file.
Right.
And I didn't think you're gonna go in there with your fucking needle and thread and just stitch it on. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it was work. It's a suggestion.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
You guys can't hear it, but Fro and I have a lot of head movement and
There's a
gesturing.
yeah, like a whole
going on.
lot of yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
It's see the thing is like I'm just trying to picture it in my head if one of my bosses in the past came up and asked me, be like, "I think we should do this over here, blah blah blah," and I'm just like, "Yeah, it's a lot of work," and they're like, "Yeah, but that's what we're paying you for," so
Right. Right.
Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah. I think, and they didn't want to sound perhaps like they outright weren't going to do it. That was really them saying that's a lot of work for it not being conquest.
Well, and
Is what it is.
that's always possible, right? Or there's the whole that's a lot of work, aka we don't have the budget for that. We're not going to be able. Hey,
Yeah, because they already planned
that's
things
an
out.
answer.
Right.
It is an answer, and I'm just going to turn around and argue with like, all right, cool. I'm not blaming the developers. I'm blaming company.
Yeah.
Give more money to do it then. Give more money. Let's see. Okay. I know I keep bringing up BG3, and that's because I'm really addicted.
Here's the thing too. Like it takes more money. We're already doing 2 tier 5s a year at least. Now, because there's the tier 5 event is what I'd call it, and then the Odyssey.
Yeah,
Like that has to bring in money.
Not when
like
the T5s haven't been quality. But anyways. A lot of head gesturing going on again.
A lot of head gesturing, yeah. Right.
But it's just it's kind of like, so I've been watching a lot of different videos and all that because again, I've been playing a lot of BG3, pretty addicted.
Yep.
A lot of game studios and developers have been quote unquote clapping back, saying how shouldn't expect anything like this or anything like that. It's an anomaly. It's an outlier. Blah 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 blah. But so much of it's like we're not blaming you developers or anything like that. When we're saying a lot of it's like we understand your companies, and it's the corporation itself, the company itself getting in the fucking way, right?
Yeah.
We get that. Like we talk shit about high res, for instance. Like, oh, making another knee skin, but not fixing this.
Well,
we know it's not the developers who decide to make another knee skin instead of fixing a bug. So
right.
At some point, someone up above says, "Oh, knee skin sell, make another. Oh, that bug's going to cost too much or take too long to fix, or sometimes they just haven't figured it out yet, right? That is a possibility. Everyone's human, let's be real. But we do know a lot of times it's just like, no, good enough, ship it.
Yeah. Which I have a problem with large developer games coming out, and it's just like, it's completely an unfinished game that they expect you to pay $60 for.
Exactly.
Like No Man's Sky is the one that really kind of stands out to me as like the, wow, you really can't do shit in this game. And like now I think it's like an actual game because it's been developed long enough. Like it's been continuing develop up until, I don't know, whenever. I don't keep up with it.
But there was a year long of it being sold as a fucking $60 game when it still was having all those problems.
Was shit. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
so
like if we go back and look at like DKO, when it got released as a $20 game, a bit much for a fucking fighter with 6 people in it. Actually, I think it only had like, it may have been more. I don't remember.
Your point is made.
But
though.
then but then it was like go back to being free and then cost money and all that, and it's like what's even going on with these fucking prices? Like, and it's for what? There's I mean, the levels were decent and all that, but it's not like there's items in the game. It's not like there's a bunch in the game. There's no like tournament feature. There's just nothing to it. It was like you gave us almost a fighter. You gave us like the bare bones of a fighter.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it was a step up above, and I really enjoyed DKO because I like Smite and I love I enjoy the property.
Yeah.
But it the whole time I played it, after like the 3rd game, I'm just like, needs a little something more. If you were like 2 steps above playing the training arena where everything's just the same polygon texture, except they'd already put a texture on it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, what isn't there? You're playing Brawlhalla without the weapons. You're playing Melee without the items. Yeah. It was just something lacking. A lot of games come out either feeling that way or full of bugs and shit and just need patched to all fuck before they're even playable. And
then you have the super independent games where it's a small development team of an indie company. And like, listen, those I feel like are such a hit because I think technically in some cases the developer is losing money during the development process. Like the CEO is actively coding the game. Like it's a 5-man outfit, right? Like he's the head of the company. He's actively coding the game, and like you don't have to go through a bunch of red tape to say, hey, what do we think about this change? And then he can say, boom, do it. Like it's a much faster process of innovation and development. But then also having the head of the company working on the game, like he's technically doing like the entry-level guy's work while being the head of the company as well,
Well, it depends on the games, because like obviously there's games like Minecraft. Famously, it was like one person. Right now they got a larger team, but like famously that was like one person. Look at Smite. Smite was just like a few people, like, and it's grown into a whole ass company now. But if you look at Larian, I'm gonna bring them up as a good example, right? They're hitting it on the nail on the fucking head. Like listening to feedback and all that, did an early release, listening to all that. But they also have a bit of a unique situation where they have 3 studios. One in Indonesia, one in England, and one in America. When one studio, shuts down for work, next studio's opening up for work, and it's literally a thing that they say it's part of their success is that someone will work on something, right? Go home from work, and then the next continent is taking over doing like bug testing, and then the next continent after that will do like bug fixing, and then they get to come in the next day and practice this thing they worked on, and like the bugs and shit have been nailed out.
Yeah.
So it's like a 24-hour constant development cycle. And I know not everyone can do that.
Yeah, well, and that's
I'm
hard
only
too,
bringing
I
that
think,
up
with
because I will
data
own up
servers,
that they
et
have
cetera.
a bit of a leverage there in that aspect. Like that is definitely true.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are merits to like some smaller companies, but
Yeah. It's not easy. But if you go on Humble Bundle, you can learn how to code through the book packages they have, and you donate to charity at the same time. Want to learn Python? Oh, and then there's the whole Unity thing. That's a fiasco.
what is the Unity?
They're going to start charging developers a certain amount per game download that uses Unity as like the
You have to send me some
game
links
engine.
after this.
Yeah. Yeah, look into that, people. And it's game download or game install, not game purchase. So it would really affect like the like free
PC
games
market.
that, yeah,
Oh, in the free games, yeah.
because then they'd expect a certain amount of money per install on a free game. You're not making any money. Granted, you might have microtransactions, but yeah,
Dude, have
I'll
you
form
ever looked
some.
into any of the microtransaction and the psychology behind it?
I mean, a certain amount of it's like gambling, right?
Well, okay, yes, a
Or
certain
loot
amount of it's
boxes. Yeah.
definitely gambling, but the first and foremost thing you need to do, you need people to initiate in the sunk cost fallacy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that is I've invested already. So it's smart of me to go ahead and keep investing in things I already started. That's essentially
Oh
this
yeah.
opposed to moving on. And that's essentially the sunk cost fallacy. That's why like
That was me with Smite for a while, and now I
well,
don't get every
this is
skin.
like no,
Yeah.
this is just microtransaction games in general. If you look, right? Excuse me, because it's that, and there's another one, or something about like not wanting to lose on something you've already like have, right?
Right.
Because almost all microtransaction games, one of the smallest, cheapest things you can get, which is something someone will genuinely lean into if they're only going to buy one thing, or if it's like a whatever game. What's this one little? The pack will cost more than that item. After you buy that little cheapy item that you're like, all right, I can justify this, you have leftover, and it's usually all converted to in-game currency, not in actual cash, right? So you can't just pay cash. You got gems or whatever.
Right.
You have leftover gems, and now you're like, well, I can't let these gems sit here because that's wasted money. The best way not to waste my money is to spend more money to get more gems to buy more stuff. And that is the whole, like, and then combine that with the sunk cost fallacy, and boom, you got people, they're hooked. And then that's microtransactions. That's how they fucking work on your brain.
It was me for a while with Smite. I was getting every skin I could, and then I'm like, well, I already missed so many skins, and honestly, I don't want to pay for Baba Beans, so Taco Sura.
Fuck out of here. Those disgusting.
they're
I
disgusting.
can't stand we
But
got Baba Beans and we still don't have Boba Baba.
yeah, that's
I also would like Barista Baba.
that'd be good.
I think there should be a whole.
Have her ride a cappuccino machine.
Dope. Dope. Her thing
Her
could be a
house is a
frother.
Starbucks.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Dude,
Oh,
we came up with a few good battle pass ideas in the Discord, like the circus theme. Like you could have
circus
Balloona.
would be so good. Clowns.
Yeah, we already got a few
That's
clowns, but it
yeah,
doesn't have to be all clowns. Like there's one was Balloona, Balloona with balloon, right?
yeah.
There was Juggler Nuwa,
Mm-hmm.
which that's fine. I think you could just make her like ringleader Nuwa, right? Then you got like the spotlight. She calls in people in suits.
Yeah,
There's a lot of variation you can do there.
yeah.
pick any god clown, like you just there's
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many like elephants,
Ringleader
Ganesha.
Wukong, where he turns into the different circus animals.
Yep, yeah, that wouldn't be bad either. You got like on her. I mean, come on, we got lions and we got lions and elephants. That's an easy one. Although
Yeah.
I know those aren't part of the circus anymore, but that's part of the mystique of the old past circus. Like, we understand.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I think it could be done. Anyways,
Yes. No. Yes. No. Maybe so. Fro.
you're doing it. He said it. He said it in that
We
voice.
have.
Yeah, he's
We
doing it.
have a new god
Oh
coming to
shit! No, yeah,
Smite.
that's right. We got a new guy. Sorry, I don't have the show notes up. I thought you were passing to me for fucking thank yous. I'm like, fuck, I'm not ready.
No, no, we're not there yet. We're
But you know
not
what? I
there
might be
yet.
ready for it
We
next
could be.
time. You just say it.
Right, right. Well, yo, keep that up. Keep that up.
Write that down. Write that
But
down.
Maman Brigitte, a protector of the dead. We have a magic assassin in the game.
A magic assassin and another voodoo, which is dope.
Yeah. Voodoo's fun. Given which I don't know. I think that category's maxed out now. I don't think there's much more that they can dredge out without there being lore. You know,
So I
because
don't know how
gods
much
without
a
lore
lot
are
of
hard.
people know about voodoo. Uh,
Yes.
voodoo, or hoodoo. They're three very similar but different things. Yes, I know I said voodoo twice. They are spelled different because they are slightly different. A lot of it actually ties back to like African spirituality. So it is very it's a huge mix of things. So yeah,
Cultural.
yeah, I could see why. Yeah, and it is very cultural as well. I could see why it would stop at just these two. Although I
Yep.
love it.
Oh yeah. As it is, she's already very Day of the Dead esque. Like they have the glowing green, the skull face paint. But we've got abilities. I don't really.
All right, so Day of the
What?
Dead is a very Mexican thing. From in Mexico.
Yes.
That
And
is
they've
more
done some
Haitian.
skins. Central America, like what
No,
fucking
it's different. Day of the Dead is very specifically for a celebration of like your ancestors coming back during
yes,
during
and
our
according to
Halloween time.
the Day of the Dead Smite skins, her character model shares quite a few similarities to those existing skins.
Right.
Is what I was
But
getting at.
but in
I understand they're different. I'm
I know
not a fool.
I'm saying it for the listeners though also too.
Okay.
But in voodoo, their Day of the Dead like skull painting, it's not Day of the Dead, right? It's very similar looking, but their skull representation is not as much like holiday type. But what I was ultimately trying to get at, not a
Gotcha.
holiday representation.
But a damage passive, damage abilities, an inverse knock stash, so she can dash into enemies. That's pretty cool.
I love that she has. Okay, so her what is it? Her first ability, I think it is, or her second one, whatever the fuck it is. Has the targeter of Circuit's dash. Right? How it's a little
Her second
zigzag.
ability, yeah, targeter, but not.
But yeah, but she doesn't actually
Not
dash
a
forward.
dash.
It's got the same like zigzag, and she can like compress it, and I love that because that's such a cool and interesting targeter in Smite. But with her, she throws out a snake, which is dope as shit. Kind of like Baron, which I also love. Right, that it's like they both have a snake ability.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I think it just does damage and marks them, whatever. But
Yeah,
it's
marks them
really
to do
cool.
more damage.
when I saw that ability after seeing her first ability, I'm like, okay, I'm actually intrigued. This guy's gonna keep me intrigued with Smite for a little bit longer. At the start of the episode, everyone, I was like, hey, I know, bit of a break. I told Depp before we started, as soon as I saw her abilities and shit, I'm like, this guy's hype. I'm excited for her.
Well, especially because you're playing jungle more too. I feel
Well,
like.
there's that too.
Yeah. So you know who Fro's gonna be playing.
See, my problem is I've been playing a lot of jungle, but I'm still not a huge fan of a lot of the bit of a bitch.
Yeah. That's tough.
Well, there's ones like Hunbot's not terribly fun for me.
No, I don't like Hunbots. I think he feels so weird. I don't like it.
Then you got like Kali, so long to get going.
Yeah.
So long. Same with Bakasura and Mercury. But
Yeah.
they do have their moments.
Yep. Late game catching
like,
people
yeah,
alone.
you feel like a scum playing Loki. Susano, all right to play, but honestly, I just feel kind of, not like cheesy because like he's so like gets so many kills, but like I just feel like a fucking weeb. Not that there's a problem being a weeb or anything, but like I feel like the neck beard. No, I feel like the neck beard fedora wearing fucking weeb. I feel like that guy every time I play, because I'm not good at him either. So it's just like dude out here playing samurai, feeding his fucking brains out. Guess that's fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Maman Brigitte.
Maman Brigitte's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Great skins coming to the game.
Oh shit, did we talk about the rest of her abilities? You kind of overviewed it real quickly. But I want to talk about her
first
one
one's
real quickly.
a cone channel with a slam. Second ability's the zigzag snake. Third,
when I saw her
inverse knock dash.
Yeah, when I saw her first ability, the first thing I thought was like, oh, so it's Heimdall. Because Heimdall's got the cone, and then anyone who surrounds him, or is close to him, he knocks him up, except for she has the cone, and anyone around her, she stuns. But her AoE is a little larger than Heimdall's. Like, I like that ability on Heimdall. I'll probably like this on her.
Yeah. Well, and it plays into her being an assassin more than Heimdall a hunter, where he wants to make space. She wants to lock you down.
Right. Yeah, I do find that she's probably... I don't know where she's going to be, because I feel like she's going to want to auto-attack a lot still. I don't know if she's going to be, like, using Hydras, if you're going to want to, like... It's going to be a thing where you want to make sure to pick, like, Crushers necessary, because you want some attack speed.
Magic.
Fuck, you're right.
She's not going to build Hydras or Crushers. And now Fro is like, what do we build?
Yeah, now I'm really thinking, because I'm like, Asen ring? Question mark? Oh,
one ring.
Maybe?
I'd say one ring just for the mobility boost. And yeah, hastened would make sense. But I think pen and power. Like maybe a Soul Reaver.
Oh yeah, she's definitely like Soul Reaver, Spear Death.
Yeah.
Ao Kuang build. You know, that I say out loud, she's Ao Kuang build. Maybe a little less attack speed. If he bought 2 rings, she might just buy 1, but that passive smacked. But
yeah, the passive's a damage. It's a 5 hits. Gets you a bonus.
5 fucking hits. Think about if you're trying to get 2
That's
procs on that, you have to auto attack someone 10 motherfucking times to get the passive to proc twice. Now, granted, it's
basics
a passive.
or abilities. Basics or abilities.
Oh, an ability puts a spike in them too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wish I could buy Hydras on her.
Yeah.
You can buy Polly. You can buy Polly, I guess.
Polly's
probably going to be good on her. I take that back. Morgan build. Not Ao Kuang. Morgan Le Fay. Or the Morgan.
Yep.
Honestly, I bet, depending on the cooldown of that ult.
And then her ult reminds me of Chernobog 1. You throw the thing up and it comes down.
Yeah.
Only instead of like taking time to blow up, it knocks them up.
Very weird. Her ult's the most underwhelming part of her kit.
Yeah.
It's just
I
literally
think
she throws a ball. Throws a ball. What else
I
does it do?
think
Does
if
it do
you
anything special?
it's a knockup. It's a knockup. It applies the mark that gives you more
Yeah,
damage.
max is your passive.
Spear the Magus.
This
Gonna
would be good.
sync with her kit real well. She might want to Bancrofts at that.
But
Yeah.
all right. So the ult
She'll
knocks
be
up. Oh, that's
fun.
right. But it was a small knockup. It was a very small knockup.
Yeah, it's not a big one.
I
It
hate short
uses her
knockups.
soul orbs, which it's crazy. She's got two separate.
Stacking S.
Well, so she's got like a rum bottle
Yeah.
that
Yeah, she
goes
actually
with
has
her
3.
one.
Yeah.
She's got her regular passive that after 5 autos or 5 damages on an enemy gives you a soul orb, and then your ult consumes the soul orbs.
Not.
So
Yeah. So it actually she has a lot going in her kit, and that's part of why I think she's interesting. That was just saying because like you have your rum, which the more rum you have, the longer you can do your breathe fire, which is her first ability, the one that's like Heimdall's horn. But then when you end it, you can end that early at any time, also like Heimdall's. Stops consuming your rum. But then there's something about how much rum you have left affects the cooldown of it.
yeah,
I assume because your rum probably has to recharge. I don't know how the rum recharges. I didn't catch that. Charges or what? Yeah, then she's got her soul orbs, which you get your orbs from stacking your passive by getting so many spikes on people, right?
yeah.
So it's like she's got like 3 different things you're trying to keep up because like you want to check how many times you're marking your enemy, how many times you're spiking them, because you want to
The
get
marks give you more damage.
Yeah, and on top of that, like she's got a lot going on. The spike. I'm gonna start saying the spike, right?
Yeah,
Spike gives you more damage, right? But then you want to get the 5 spikes because you're trying to collect your soul orbs because you want your soul orbs to do more damage with your ult. So it's like you have a lot of
I don't think it increases the damage. It increases the radius of the
radius.
ult.
Yep, sorry. So which you want if it's a giant ass knockup,
Right, you want a bigger orb
giant.
to slam. Yeah.
And it goes from what it looked like from the video about
So
a
radius
Poseidon whirlpool,
16.5,
little
all
larger,
the way up to 24.
to almost a kraken is what
I don't think it was Kraken big.
I said. Almost a kraken.
Yeah.
It would fit inside, but not by much, right?
Right.
Talking like 14-inch pizza to 16. Like clearly it's smaller, but almost takes up the whole. Got the crust, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, it goes from like a whirlpool size to almost kraken size. So yeah, she's got a lot. You're like trying to like,
And she's gonna be bursty.
oh yeah,
Bursty as shit. Like if she stuns you, you're fucked. I feel like being that close, like you're not gonna. I was about to say Gem of ISO for the slow, but
I don't think if you need the slow, if you're already, I mean, you can dash, you can double dash, like you can literally dash into them and then dash in front of them, cut them off,
yeah,
or just dash after them and just. You got a stun, you got a knock up. Does the 2 do anything? It just applies the mark, right?
damage a mark.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
ISO potentially, but I don't know if you'll need it. Although if your passive procs it, although no, they put ISO on a timer. Never mind.
Yeah.
I miss old ISO. I understand why it's gone.
You know, that's how it be sometimes. But
I really miss.
we're all excited. Yeah. What do you miss?
Say, I really miss old Magus. Where it
I miss
shredded.
old Magus too.
I
Yeah.
understand why it disappeared because some mages could use it a lot more than others. But the problem with that is they
I
just
think that's
didn't.
fine. That's
I don't.
itemization then.
Yeah, yeah. See, I think the real problem with that is the fact that there wasn't any items that specifically help a burst mage.
Right.
Like your ability must do X before it does X. Okay, well, Anubis can't use that on any fucking ability.
No.
There you go. Okay,
Right.
well, he's abusing the shit out of Magus, and Thoth can't use it, or Ra
It's
can't use
Obshard.
it, but
Obshard
Ra.
was the.
Well, I'm thinking like imagine a Soul Reaver that you get something like that, but you must do X amount of damage in order to get
Yeah.
right.
Only triggers on abilities with 80% scaling or something. I don't know.
Well, I was just saying, like literally, like, you must do X amount of damage to God in order for it to happen. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not a game developer. I don't have to fucking figure this out.
Oh, that's Ratatouille, Fro.
Well, Ratatouille's they got to be under a certain amount of health. I'm saying you must
Yeah.
do X amount of damage, right? Because my simple, quick little fucking napkin math over here.
Right.
Part of the problem they had with Magus is any god with a tick would abuse it, right? Tick gods don't have a burst in their kit generally, right? I guess you could argue Cuckoo if there's outliers.
Right.
Someone like Anubis, right, would abuse the shit out of old Spear the Magus because every tick it would shred, right?
Yeah.
Up to X amount of time, so you would shred the fuck out of them. So I was okay with that because I missed that item.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or if they have something like that, I think the answer to that is not to change the item, is make something opposite where you must do like imagine you like I'm trying to think of like an ability that hits like a Scylla Crush, right? You must do 300 damage within one instance of damage for this to proc. Boom. Now you don't have Anubis of being able to abuse that item and Magus, right? Burst mages have their own item. Fucking DPS dot mages having their item. It's not necessary.
I guess the difference is then having it only activate once and putting an internal cooldown on it, which they kind of have items like that now.
Yeah, I mean you could do that as well, but if you were to do that, then theoretically the Anubis. I'm gonna keep saying Anubis as the example because all he has is tick.
Yeah.
If it was just internal cooldown, he could still use it. You know what I mean?
But then it only like.
Or you could turn it where you could turn it where
Yeah.
a percentage of the damage you deal, the first instance of damage you deal, right? I think that might be it right there. A percentage of the first instance of damage you deal. But then they were going to be like, that's too confusing of wording. Players won't get it.
That's fine. Maybe they don't get it.
I would rather go. I'm usually siding with the players. I would rather go that excuse. I'll understand if they were to do that excuse. I would always err with the make it understand for players. I think that's why we're gonna have to go with just like you have to deal after if an ability deals X, then X.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting way off track now.
Yeah, no, we have some pretty cool skins. There's some bug fixes. There's adjustments to slash. But some recipe changes, some item changes, some god changes. Check out the patch notes, everybody. Looks like mostly buffs. Looks like a lot of buffs. Oh, some nerfs. There's some nerfs too. So clearly not enough nerfs. I'd like more, please. High res, only nerf. Thank you.
I like how they came out and they nerfed everything, and I bet in 2 years you're gonna be back and be like, why is everything back up to 100 power?
Right. No, that's exactly what it's gonna be. And there's gonna be 3 new item trees, and none of them are gonna be for hunters.
You know, I said it last week. I think there are more hunter items, like items specifically for that class. There are any other. Period. Flat out.
Yeah. Hunters?
I think the only exception might be mages, right? And now a lot of people are going to argue tanks.
Yeah.
Tell me which item or what role each one of those items is, right? What role is a fucking Midgard for? Is that a support item? Because I say support and solo. And my argument
Yeah.
was an item made specifically for that class, right? Yes, is a support. Yes, breastplate is solo. Those are clear, right? Now that I got that clarified, it's probably hunters, and if not hunters, mages. You just got to think about it. Executioner, that's for a hunter. Kins, that's for a hunter. Aussie, that's for hunters. Like, there's so many just like silver branch.
Yeah, even
That's
though
for
they're
hunters.
branded for all physical gods, the class that best utilizes them is hunters. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then if you look at like any patch or anything, people be like, we didn't get everything else got something. Hunters didn't get anything." What are they usually talking about? Deathbringer, Executioner,
Yeah.
Kins.
They
Yeah,
want
like,
crit. They want hunters always want crit to be strong.
not all. Not all. Some really like their Kins.
Most.
Kins.
Yeah.
If they're not wanting crit, they're wanting Kins or Silver
And then
Branch to be
hunters have
buffed.
bows. Hunters have bows.
They got the bow tree. They got the vast majority
Granted,
of the crit tree is meant
warriors have
just for them.
hammers. Warriors have hammers. Assassins have blades.
Yep.
So bows, hammers, and blades kind of cancel each other out.
But what do the hunters have on top of the bows? Kins tree.
Yeah.
They have two item trees.
Well, and the Kins tree has a glyph. The hammer tree's got a glyph. I think it's like I agree the Pridwin glyphs are good. And I think everyone can build Pridwin.
Is Pridwin out? Is that a class specific item? And I know again,
It's the only one that isn't. It's the only one that
they
isn't.
can be built by. Well, I guess yeah, in that tree. That's fair enough.
Right.
In that particular tree, yeah, those are literal class specific. But like in my example, I was just like, when they go and buff Soul Reaver, no one's like, oh my god, here we go, buffing fucking support items. It's like, well, no, they just buffed a mage.
Right.
Clearly. But like if you go and buff Midgardian male, go buff a solo, or did you just go buff a support item?
Yeah.
And they switch to, oh, we're buffing tanks. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always interesting. But anyways, hunters whine a lot. You guys have the most items in the game, but I get it.
Yeah.
They need to have the most items in the game too. I mean, honestly, because outside of their base kits, outside of their kits, where you get some interesting, their whole shtick is, I go pew pew. So to give variety, how they go pew pew, you must give them different items to affect how they go pew pew, or what happens when they go pew pew.
Yes.
A lot of mages, you just gotta. Are you want more damage on your ability? You want cooldown? What do you want?
Right.
We got all sorts of utility to offer.
What's the next item tree you'd give a glyph to?
Does the health tree have a glyph?
No.
Like,
It does not.
Does Gaia? Well, then probably that, because that only seems
Gaia
fair.
Gauntlet, the Healy breastplate, and fuck, what is in that tree?
Shield or breastplate of regrowth, Thebes.
No,
Gaia.
breastplate's not in there.
Regrowth, breastplate of regrowth. That's what it's called. No longer
Right,
shield of regrowth. It's breastplate of
and it's
mail
in
of
the
renewal.
breastplate tree.
Yep. Yep. It's the green. It's the green one. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Breastplate of regrowth, mail of renewal, Thebes,
Mail
and
of renewal.
Donagaya.
Breastplate's not in that tree though.
Breastplate of regrowth, not of valor.
It used to be shield of regrowth. It's now breastplate of regrowth, and it's in the breastplate tree, not the health tree.
Is it only the 3 in the health tree now?
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a fourth, but I can't, for the life of me, figure out what it is.
God damn it, Depp. Open up Smite. I am so fucking curious now.
I'm looking on Smite game items, and it's not telling me
so
what I want it
jank,
to tell
though.
me.
Imagine that.
Stone of Gaia, Gauntlet of Thebes, Mail Renewal. Is it are we dumb?
I mean, I was like dead set on
Cannoneers Curious.
Fuck is that? I know what it looks like, but I just don't remember the item. It's the black and gold.
It's the auto that kills a minion.
Who the fuck is that item for? Let's answer that question. Right, you're talking about what item is this god for? What item? Who the fuck is that for? No one's building that shit. God damn.
So it's a support item. Your next basic attack on an enemy lane minion causes it to explode instantly, killing it, dealing 50 plus 10 per level magic damage to enemies in a small area, providing 15 bonus gold to your nearest ally within 80 feet. This can only happen once every 7 seconds.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Why? So, okay. Here's part of my problem with that item, right? And I'll just touch on this real quickly. By the time I get to the point where I'm buying that item, I don't care about lane minions. Or that 15 gold is irrelevant. We are already past that. It doesn't matter if I'm behind. I'm behind.
Yeah.
Like
it's 2,000 gold. Kind of cheap.
All right. So now you're also, if let's say you rush it, now your team's down your Thebes, you're not stacking your prophetic.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. And you're taking last hit gold, which I don't remember exactly how much that is, and I know it compensates by giving your ally the 15. I guess you guys get a little bit of lane pressure, but does it say lane minion? Does it say lane minion?
Lane minion.
But you can't even use that auto in the jungle, so it's not like you can fucking lane pressure to go rush in jungle and try to be like a menace stealing everything in the jungle.
Yeah. So the really only case is if the enemy team has a lot of lane pressure and their support's not leaving. That's the only thing I could think of this being any sort of good.
Yeah, dude, who the fuck would build this item? I'm gonna leave it at that. Why?
Hey, Smite devs, who's building this? How often is this getting built? Is this like what's going on here?
Hey, you want to fix this item? Right here. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a suggestion.
Yeah.
Cannonball, right? What it's called?
Yeah. Cannoneers.
Cannoneers, right? Cannons, powerful. A lot of power behind, the thought and the imagery there.
Yeah.
Anytime you get knocked back or knocked up, person who did it to you, it's slowed. Already a better passive. And that's real simple, and there's a lot that can be changed to it. That was just me fucking spitballing something, and there's a lot that can be changed. Boom. Although I know we've already talked about the punishing, but
yeah,
this will be picked up on tanks, and it's when a tank hits a tank. How many non-tanks really have a lot of knockups or knockbacks?
This might be turning into us complaining about shields. Make erosion a shield steal and not just a shield reduction.
That would be very strong.
Sure. Great. Adjust it later. Like, I'm fine with that.
Would you want to steal the same percent? So here's where I think would be in a real awkward, because I think that'd be a bit like
Make it half. Make it half. So it's
I reduce your shield by
100,
100, so that worth stealing? I mean, and any little bit, I get you. But is there a point where it just like, would the people be like, that's just kind of pathetic?
I mean, every little bit matters. Like, it might be enough to keep you in for another round of abilities. Like,
of course, they could also just balance it where it's like, okay, so maybe you don't reduce it as much, but you take a large percent of it.
Reduce by 20, take 20?
Whatever the math being, however they work it out. If they find that it's too much of a swing that you're reducing and also receiving, we'll just change it. So, we're reducing less, but taking a significant portion of what you're reduced, or however you want to work it out. I like the idea. I like that idea, Depp. I'm with it.
Yeah. I think that'd make erosion more viable. Stone of Bindings, whatever it is. Archdruids and Abyssal is weird.
I don't even remember those items. I feel so, dude. There's so many fucking tank items I just don't even remember right now because they're just so irrelevant.
So Archdruids is you take damage and then you get like a poly auto.
Why?
Not even like a good poly auto either.
All right, here, watch me fix it.
It's so weird.
Your next auto attack slows. Moving on. Like, so many things can be really fixed if you just turn the shit into actual support or fucking like frontliner
Abyssal's the one
stuff.
that gives you negative CDR.
Negative CDR. Oh, okay, let's go back to the other one. You said it gives you a poly auto. Was there more to it?
So passive, gain a stack up to a max of 6 each time you take damage from enemy gods, equal to 5% of your maximum health. Your next basic attack on an enemy god consumes all stacks and deals 30 plus 2 per level magic damage per stack. This effect can only occur once every 10 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Remove the damage. Give me a second slow, like 1 second long slow. Give me a half a second root. Give me a quarter second, half second silence. Make it a CC. Make it a fucking frontliner thing. Just don't make it damage. Yeah, cripple. Cripple for a second. Boom. Can't dash away now. Yep. That'd be huge. I really like the cripple one.
And honestly, remove the 5% maximum health requirement.
I'm torn because I think that stops it from being just like bullshit. Tank hits you with a couple autos, or imagine Sylvanas hitting you with 5 autos, and now you can walk up. It
specifies ability.
Oh, does it?
Oh no, yeah, it doesn't. Make it abilities. Make it abilities. Take away 5% maximum health.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's fix the next fucking item. We're just gonna. This episode is Depp and Fro fix items.
All right. Abyssal Stone, that is successful ability damage to an enemy god, applies a debuff that afflicts them with 20% negative CDR for 5 seconds. This can only occur once every 5 seconds. I think it's just weird and people don't use it.
So here's my, again, quick hot take.
Yep.
You can't see it. You can't see your enemy CDR. So if you don't know if it's actually applied or not, right? We assume it is.
Well, it'd go on cooldown. You'd see the item on cooldown.
It would go on cooldown. You don't get to see the effects. You don't get to see your enemy CDR go up. Right.
Right.
Does this work on abilities that haven't been cast yet? Because what's it matter if there's a longer CDR if they're still just going to turn right around and hit you with the uncast ability right now? Because that fuck me anyways. If they're already on cooldown, which then it adds to it. Again, you don't get to feel it.
Yeah.
Quick fix for this one. What was it to proc?
Just hit an ability.
What was it to stack to get that?
Successful ability damage to an enemy god.
Oh, so you just hit and then...
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's a 20% reduction for only 5 seconds.
I feel like what would feel better is if it just removed DR stacks.
That'd be wild. You're a madman.
Dude, DR stacks are bullshit right now anyways.
Yeah. No, my
And
buddy
especially,
had that.
and
feeling
especially with the
the-
fact that DR, I think Intersect brought this up. The fact that DR stacks last for 15 fucking seconds and get refreshed after every instance of damage. You can literally Ymir freeze someone, right? When your freeze comes back up, freeze them again, and they're DR'd from the first time you fucking froze them. 10 seconds later, and a long ass no cooldown Ymir freeze. You DR'd your fucking self. That doesn't feel good.
The game where I played Ymir, my buddy really felt that. He's like, why? He's like, he was discording. He's like, I rooted them. Why didn't it stop him? And I'm like, it's probably DR, and you did hit him, and he'd been like frozen by me and like pulled by Susano, and so your root essentially did nothing.
Right. I think it takes it down to the 0.2 is the minimal.
Right.
Which, sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe make it so you can remove DR stacks.
Adjust DR for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think Intersect suggested 8. But yeah, 8 to 10. 15's way too fucking long. Way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
Yeah, I guess you could have a fuck with DR, or again, not being able to see what your impact is something that's always going to feel rough and make the item feel because you.
Yeah.
I guess another option. You could have it reduce your cooldowns. That could be a little strong, but how many tank items actually give you a chance to reduce cooldowns?
Or what about just gain 20% additional CDR for 5 seconds?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Decrease your cooldowns.
Yeah.
Like if every 10 seconds or I mean you could also increase it where it's like all right,
make it
so you can't do it every round of abilities, make the internal cooldown of the item like 20 seconds, right? So you can't or 30 or whatever. But have it where it's, after your first ability cast that if you hit an enemy, reduce the cooldowns of all your abilities by 20% for the next 6 seconds, right? So you get a little time to play around and get some positioning. Internal cooldown of 30. So you can't just spam it. Boom.
Yeah.
We fixed it.
Look at us go, Fro.
We're just
we just fixed the Stone of Binding tree. Smite game, you're welcome. Listen to us more. Also, if you want to get one of your people on the podcast, let us know. We're looking for another host. Longest running Smite podcast.
Yeah, as long as you don't have a problem with me occasionally talking shit.
Yeah.
I generally actually come to their defense. Like I
Oh, you do.
Come to the defense of people being people. Will not come to the defense of corporation.
Yeah. Well, all right, Fro Double G.
All right.
Why don't I remind people that we have a diamond challenge going on? Get your assassins mastered.
So close.
I'm so far. I don't think I'll make it.
I chose
Tsukiyomi's going to be tough. Well, Fro, we have people to thank. Why don't you tell us who they are?
We do have people to thank. We have a bunch of wonderful patrons. Love you all. Aerial Steel, Asbestos Dog, Bria Chia Pet, The Big Red, Weatherman Keith, Jade Flag, and Baseball Griff, Bombi, Danny Boy, Numeric B, Caveman Neo, Coffin Monkey, CDR Litz, Gilly, Snorlax, Weatherman, Adios, Sir Ember, K-Brojo, Famous Freak, Stoffmeister, Backlash, Dr. Godfucker, Lantern, Reese, Warlord, Yo, Bats Kid, Equidunk, Doc, Necro, Otterjoe, Riggs, Dracon Prime, Glen Wiggle, Granite Boys, Camel Hoss, Void vs. Void, Enbright, Sloppy Sets, Scion, Gemini, Batman, Sandman, Aquasoft, Kilowatt Man, I'm a Hater, Colorado, Amber Bug, and Folk. Thank you all very, very much. Did I say Mr.
Love
Man?
you guys.
I'm a Hater, Mr. Man, Colorado.
It sounded like there was a new name in there.
Numeric B.
Yeah. Welcome aboard.
I try to
Alright,
change them up
bro.
where I put them. Like I
Yeah.
try not to put the newest person always at the bottom. I just like I mean honestly a lot of times I just like randomly stick them in there.
That's a vibe. And this is a Smite podcast, and we're all out of time. Thank you guys for listening. See ya.
Bye.